Good morning, YouTube. Welcome in. Today we got another beautiful build for you. Today we're building for Boy Wee's Apple. Everybody knows her as Wee's or Apple. Absolutely killer system. She's been on a dated system playing a lot of PUBG, a lot of FPS titles, and she's like, since we want to get some better frames, we want a new PC, we want to look good. What do you have in mind? First off, we're starting with the 7800 X3D, tried and true, best CPU on the market right now in terms of gaming, price per watt, price per frame, price per FPS, whatever you want to call it. It's absolutely phenomenal. We're putting on the beautiful B650E STRIX motherboard coming from Asus. That, the Carbon or the Tomahawk, one of probably the three best boards now on the B650 AM5 platform. 32 gigs of 6000 CL30 RAM coming up from Team Group and the Delta RGB. We've got a 2 terabyte KC3000 drive there for all the storage of all the games, all the titles she wants to play. We've got a beautiful RTX 4080 super tough OC coming in from Asus as well. We're pairing it with the Asus 1000G 100 watt ATX 3.0 power supply. It's got that beautiful black braided cables. And we're putting this all in the beautiful Phanteks XT View case, which is one of my favorite cases for under $100 right now. Got the beautiful black Trinity SL Infinity Galahad 2. That means it's got the beautiful Galahad 2 cooler with the Infinity fans on top. We've got 3 other Infinity fans going in there, 2 of them being reversed to go on the side, and we have the 1 more fan for the rear. Absolutely killer system. Amazing long intro. Let us know anything down below in the comments. Make sure to hit that like button to help us with the algorithm so people can see all these beautiful PCs over here on YouTube. Make sure to that subscribe button as well if you want to see more of these PCs come up in your feed. Remember, we build them live on a raw like you see it right now every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday over our Twitch channel at twitch.tv/stints. We stream around 10 a.m. Eastern. We hope to see you soon. Let's go over to the build station, take a look at all these beautiful parts. I mean, would you just look at all that beautiful things there? I don't know what's going on in that top camera. We'll figure it out here in just a second. A lot of stuff we're going to try and build here on stream are either the customer requested, really nice looking systems that we see come through the assembly queue or orders. And then obviously you're going to see a lot of our quick ships. They're going to be built here on stream. Try to build some really cool creative things, almost like curated builds, but also be really good value and have really good performance for the price. And that's what you'll see mostly here on both the stream and also on YouTube. Yeah, beautiful board, that STRIX B650E. That is a chef's kiss of a board. That board. Sheesh. First off, we get this beautiful 7800 X3D down and in. Make sure the socket looks good. It does indeed look good. We had internet issues here last week, so make sure my internet was being funky. Because I see like up on my overlayer here for the status, it was showing red. So I was making sure it wasn't like a bitrate issue or a stream was dying. So I was making sure. Thank you for that. All right, 7800 X3D is down in the socket. Next we're gonna work on our standoffs and our NVMe drive. Get this beautiful NVMe drive in. Down in we go with the KC3000 2 terabyte NVMe drive. It's probably the exact drive I would use in my own personal system. Right now I'm on a 980 1 terabyte drive. Before I got to see the quality of Kingston, I had a 980. Not bad. Actually, I have a 980 and I have a Western Digital Black, so I have both, but. Take a look at standoffs really quick before I get our RAM in here. Are we reusing retaining the screws? Okay, so it's retaining the factory screws, okay. So it's taking the bracket off, but it's retaining the same screw. It's a cool little bracket. I will say it's a smart idea. This is definitely different than the last one we did. There's a beautiful Delta RAM. Honestly, also, I'll go 48 Super. 4090 is a little bit of overkill. You're getting, for half the cost of the 4090, you're getting like only 10% less performance. So the value isn't there on the 4090 right now. The 48 Super is, if you're gonna go like high-end 1440p 4K, you want the 48 Super for the price. To give you an idea of the price of today's build, I'm not gonna say exactly what it is, but I'll give you a price point. We're talking like, we're on 3K build. Let's get the case out. We got everything on the motherboard here. Again, let's talk about it. Beautiful 7800 X3D on the beautiful B650E STRIX motherboard. We got a 2 terabyte NVMe drive down here in the primary slot. 32 gigs of 6000 CL30 RAM, and then we have standoffs in place for the Galahad 2 LCD cooler. Absolutely beautiful setup here. Let's slide this aside. Let's get this XT View case out. Start working on that. Here we go. Here's that beautiful XT View. So onboard RGB, like the ones built into the case, we're gonna run it into the Lian controller. That way all the RGBs in sync. So we're gonna zip tie all this off here, off the top of the case, so it's out of the way, out of play. I'm working on all the fans. We're not utilizing the factory fans that are in here. So I'm just moving on getting them out. We're gonna start dropping them out here now. Now we have the cables kind of managed here behind. Now these M20, I think pretty sure these are like M25 fans. They are M25 fans. They're great fans. Don't get me wrong, but we're gonna go with something a little bit prettier here today for Wee's. I always say Wee's, Apple. All right, once we get this one out, we're gonna work on our motherboard, and then we'll worry about the fans later. I just want to get these out of the way so all the cables are out of the way when I'm starting to put stuff in. Created, I can just pull this out and pull right through there. There we go. Actually, I think I have a 140 rear fan. Hold on, I might give her a 140 rear.
Got our 140 rear fan. Then we got all the fans out. We're gonna start working on the motherboard. We're gonna go top down. Again, this is one of my favorite cases. Aesthetically, for the price, it's gonna look absolutely killer, especially with the parts we're using in today's system. Let's go top down, get ready to mount this beautiful motherboard. In this case, it's gonna look absolutely killer. There it is, all in. We've got our accessory box that we need. Can we talk about how many zip ties they give us? They give you an army of zip ties. Do we see this shot? Motherboard's down and in, looks absolutely stellar. Give me a front close-up now. Start working on the cables, front panel connections, get these in here. All right, that's good to go. You can see right here, cable management dialed in. We're not using the RGB built in here because we're not going to be utilizing it. We're going to run everything off the onboard controller or the Lian software, so we got that all kind of cleaned up there. It's time to start working on our fans and our power supply. So we're going to get those fans in next. We have the beautiful RGB fans today from Lian. The cooler will go on last. It's pretty straightforward. Reverse fans to the side because we're hooking Apple up with them. So it'll pull air through the front but have that really nice aesthetic look. All right, let me spin this around, chat. Start working on these fans. We're gonna move on to the power supply. Beautiful 140 fan back here, plenty of airflow in this case. Next, we're gonna do the power supply before we move on to the cooler. Oh, those beautiful fans looking today. Now let's start working on our power supply again. We have the 1000G today. Beautiful black braided cables that come with this power supply standard. Try to keep these in stock here at Stinsville. It's a really high-end power supply coming out of Asus in the tough. Honestly, it's an absolutely phenomenal power supply for the price. Great thing about the 1000 watt is you have plenty of power down the line in case you ever want to upgrade the graphics card, but obviously with 700 extra, you get 40 Super. This thing is absolutely juiced, ready to go. There's that power supply there. All right, CPU 1, we will need SATA. So today's SATA, we have SATA coming off of controller. We also have SATA, I think we'll need SATA on the hub here. I think we need 3 SATA connections today. This is the hub for the RGB. They confirmed that. I believe it's a dual SATA. It is dual SATA. So we need 3 SATA ports today. There's 1 SATA cable. Is this one 3? There we go. 3 SATA cable. We don't need a PCIe. We don't need a Molex. We'll need our 12-volt high power. We'll need a secondary CPU, and then we need our 24-pin main motherboard. Where are you hiding? There you are. All these other cables will go back in the motherboard box along with the power cable. Let's get this power supply all kind of configured here as we need it. Now, while the 700 extra only draws about 90 watts TDP in gaming, we're going to give all this motherboard the power it needs now because you're having other feature upgrades down the line. It's all done now instead of having to go through and the haggle of running wires. Yeah, we've seen that the fans, some of the original OG fans that came with the coolers were having issues. Obviously they're sending in replacements, which is really nice to see. That's Deepcool Global because obviously they had a sanction that kind of crushed their drive because Deepcool's been one of the best vendors in the last probably couple of years as a system integrator. I'll say that all day. They've really gone hand in hand to help creators, help everybody, help small businesses, and they just got obviously that sanction. They had to stop selling in the United States, so they're doing everything globally to help support all the U.S. efforts that had to be shut down, which is really unfortunate. But it's good to see that the customer service is still there, as I would expect from such a great company. All right, start working on our cables. First off is gonna be our motherboard, 24-pin main motherboard here. Beautiful black braided cables. 12-volt high power, we're gonna run this up and through, so we have it here for later for the GPU. Get out of the way, go up through here, and feed it around. There we go. Access we can tuck down and in, the back of the power supply area. Next will be our dual EPS for our CPU power. There's 1, 2, once these are in, we will zip tie these down and in so they're clear. Let's work on our RGB. We have 1, 2, and 3 RGB cables. The fans. Actually, honestly, we can do the cooler now. Get the cooler done. Work on the RGB last because there's plenty of space. You can see what we got going on back here. Are obviously really well cable managed already. We'll dial the rest of it in when we get the cooler done, but looking absolutely killer right now. All right, we are going to take the, oh, we actually don't even need to put the cable on here. Let's work on that next. We're gonna run all the cables into the RGB hub. Instead of running right to the motherboard, we'll run the motherboard sync to the Lian Controller. It'll be good to go. So, here we go, cable management view so you can see what I'm doing here. We're ready to mount the pump. Okay, so we already have a thermal pad on here, which is nice. I'm gonna go right on with the cooler. This is a brand new cooler, so the thermal pads are fine, especially on a CPU that is not super toasty like this one. There's one, nice and secure, looking great. Next is gonna be running our this is our pump cable. So up and over, good, all right. Now that's secure, all of our cables up here are secure. We can spin this really quick before we put the mount in the rad. We're going to work on just getting these cables kind of under management back here really quickly. I think we're going to go. Okay, all right, 2 more screws, chat. Put the cover back on, then move on to the RGB hub cable management before we move on to the GPU. We're doing pretty good. We've got about 10 minutes left here. We already started up. Cable management is done. Holy moly, this was a lot of cables around this thing. I'll show you guys, chat. But also try and keep it clean because this case is not very thick, but you can see how we tucked everything in on the back. We have a magnetic hub. Pretty clean, considering. All right, let's get our GPU out. Whew, hot. Software controlled. Software controlled through Lian L Connect. All right, yeah, we got a good GPU too. Let's get this big old behemoth out. I say a behemoth, this is a chonker. So we have the tough 4080 OC. This is honestly probably the best 4080 to get. Thing is massive. Let me get the 2 slots out that we need to put this card in. And what I might say, I might send you like an adapter to buy on Amazon. They're like $8 just to help support the card over here. I would probably recommend that. It is a chonker. We'll have Windows 11 Pro on here just because it really helps those AMD cores and the 3D cache run really well. Windows 11 Pros or installing on all of our systems less otherwise notified. Go chat, in we go. Big old chunk is 3, 2, 1. Heard that chunk. And we heard that thunk right there. And there's chat. Let's get our cable up and in. It's for our GPU, 12 high power. There it is. All right, ready to boot it up. We have all the RGB on the case also running into the Lian hub, so it's gonna be all in sync.
Guys, thanks for coming in and liking another video here on YouTube. Make sure you hit that like button, help us with the algorithm. Make sure people find us and see all the beautiful PCs we build. If you haven't subscribed already, hit that subscribe button as well. Remember, we build these systems live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday over on our Twitch channel at twitch.tv/stints. Come on over, hang out, chat it up with us, watch us build beautiful PCs for everybody in the community. And remember, let's go.